Hello everyone, Turtleags here bringing you another AFK Journey video. So today I'm very excited to release part 1 to this 3-part series, basically a beginner's guide to AFK Journey. Now for part 1 we will go over the following, which will matter most when you start the game. First is season schedule. We'll go over how seasons work in this game. We'll go over AFK stages, the importance of it. The guild system, the summon system, wishlist priority, and then finally daily and weekly quests that you should be doing, including Lucky Flip, which is very important for the progression of your account. So without further ado, let's begin. Alright, so the first thing that I want to go over is how the season structure works in this game. Basically, there are limited time events known as seasons that last 4 months long, and at this point it has been a little over a year since AFK Journey's global launch. So if you think about it, if one season is every 4 months, we are actually closing in on the end of season 3, which in this case would be Chains of Eternity, which is a winter themed season. The next season, season 4, which should begin at the end of this month, May of 2025, season 4 should be released, and this will be lava themed, most likely. That will last for 4 months. And the reason why seasons matter is because in addition to limited time events for really cool, like new heroes, outfits, and just extra resources that are especially valuable for free-to-play players, the leveling system will be essentially reset at the start of each season. It'll keep your account progression in terms of heroes that you ascended. It'll of course you'll keep all the resources, but just that the leveling system for this season will be reset. So this is what allows new players to have equal footing, or as close to equal footing as possible, to older players. Now, when you start a new account, you won't actually enter a season. I know this is a little confusing, but essentially there is a pre-season, you can call it, where when you start your account, you will enter a server that should be anywhere between 1 day to, say, like 40 days old. Because a new server is typically created once every 30 to 40 days. And typically there will be a 40-day pre-season where you're just focusing on going through the main story, slowly developing your account. So for this reason, when you create a new account, you don't need to worry too much about other players having a significant advantage over you, because the combination of you entering a new server as well as everyone starting the new season at roughly the same time, this creates, I think, an overall better experience for players who are interested in competing for the top rankings. Alright, so the next thing I want to talk about is AFK stages, and my camera happens to be blocking it, so let me just move it to the right. So when you start the game, on the bottom left of your screen there should be something called AFK Progress. And if you click on that, you will enter the screen here. Now, AFK Stage, the reason why this game is called AFK Journey is because depending on the progression of your AFK stage clearing, you will get passive resources, which are denoted, I believe, here. Yes, so when you click on the I for information, it'll tell you, okay, you've cleared 3,206 stages. Every hour you'll get about 18.8k gold, 221k season experience, 2,637 season essences, And yeah, so these are different passive income that you accumulate. The game will accumulate it for you idly, and then when you log in and click on the chest in the middle, you can actually claim these passive rewards. And here it denotes how much time it has been since you last claimed your rewards, and these are example of the resources here. So this is, I mentioned this at the start because you will actually need to clear the first 30 AFK stages in order to unlock the guild system, and it is in your best interest to periodically clear as many AFK stages as you possibly can. That way, even when you're away from the keyboard, if you're sleeping, working, doing something else, your account is constantly accumulating resources. Now, just briefly talking about these resources, Season Essence is what both a combination of Season Essence as well as Season Manuals is what allows you to build your season experience. And remember what I mentioned earlier, that at the start of each season your progress resets. Not your entire account resets, it's specifically your season progress resets, because when you start the game you're probably not going to see this, because like I mentioned before, the new season will not start for you until your server is 40 days old. Before then you'll only see these three resources, which is Hero Essence and Training Manuals. These two in combination with gold is what allows you to level up your heroes. And regular levels are not reset. However, season levels are reset at the start of each season. If this doesn't fully make sense, it's okay. If you understand, great. But anyways, push your AFK stages in order to unlock the guild system at AFK stage 30. You want to unlock the guild system on day 1, and that's actually what I'm going to go over next. So you want to enter a guild because the guild system allows you to participate in certain game modes such as battle drills and clash fronts and guild supremacy to gain valuable rewards. And as you can see here, you see a lot of gold stockpiling in what's called the guild chest. And the guild chest is very important because at the end of each week, which the game defines a week as from Sunday to Saturday, essentially. So I'm sorry, from Monday through Sunday. So at the end of Sunday is when there is something called a weekly reset, and this is where you can claim various rewards, including the guild chest. And each guild can have up to 30 members, as you can see here. Ideally, when you join a guild, you want to join a guild with a very high power level. Here you have a base power level, and so typically when you start the game, if you are a sweaty free-to-play gamer, you should be able to get about 250 to 300k power on day 1, and then up to I want to say like anyways, you can kind of tell if your guild is weak or strong based by comparing the power level of your character versus other people within your guild. And I highly recommend, if you're brand new to the game, to join a guild instead of create your own guild, because what typically happens is that the guild with the most pay-to-win players will start stealing guild members from other guilds. And if you are not a whale yourself, you will find yourself in a stressful situation where other guilds are sniping your guild members. And ideally, you also don't want to be trapped in a guild where you have a bunch of casuals or inactive players. It's surprising how many guilds out there have guild leaders who do not routinely prune their guild kicking the inactive members and recruiting active members. Yes, so, and you can tell how active the guild is based on when they last logged in. If you are in a guild with a lot of guild members who have been logged off for more than a day, I would highly consider that you leave that guild and join another guild. Just keep in mind that every time you leave a guild, there is a 30-minute cooldown before you can join another guild. Now, why do you want to join a guild? Well, the reason for this is because you can get certain rewards. For instance, if there's something called a guild challenge where and these are one-time rewards here, where once 10 out of 30 of your guild members have achieved different checkpoints, such as reaching a particular area in the map or clearing a boss up until a certain difficulty, you will get guild medals. And these guild medals you can exchange in the Emporium for valuable rewards. The most valuable rewards, in my opinion, would be the stellar crystals, as well as the celestial hypogean heroes. I will talk about them in a brief moment, but basically, celestial hypogeans are these really rare, very powerful, probably the most powerful heroes in the game, some of them. And these heroes are they take the longest to ascend to the highest tier, and these heroes take a very long time to build. If you are a free-to-play player, it will take you probably a whole season, up to 4 months, in order to fully ascend one of these celestial hypogean heroes to the maximum ascension that matters, which is Supreme Plus. So just keep that in mind. This is why it's important to join a guild from day one. Okay, so now that we've talked about the guild system, let's talk about the summon system next. So when you click on the Mystical House and you click on the Noble Tavern is the place where you're going to summon heroes. And summoning is one of the most important ways that you progress your account. Now, when you start the game, you're not going to have all of these options. You're only going to have a rate-up recruitment option, an all-hero recruitment option, and an epic recruitment option. The Stargaze Station, you need to perform 400 summons in order to unlock this, and this is what allows you to summon for one of the 10 celestial hypogean heroes. So now just going over the differences between these banners. So remember what I mentioned earlier about a season. Every season lasts 4 months, and each season will have roughly 7 to 8 rate-up heroes over the course of the season. These are limited time banners where you can hyper-focus on the latest and greatest hero. And at the time of this recording, the rate-up hero is Chimera. But the good news is that even if you are a brand new player, you don't have to worry about FOMO, the fear of missing out, because once a hero leaves the rate-up banner, they will enter the all-hero recruitment wishlist. So notice how I clicked the all-hero recruitment, and now I'm going to click wishlist. To unlock the wishlist, I think you have to meet a certain requirement. I think it was either an AFK stage checkpoint, like AFK stage 15 in combination with story progression. And I think you need to perform a minimum amount of summons. I don't remember how many. But anyways, the all-hero wishlist is very important. Once you have performed X amount of summons, you will unlock the hero wishlist. And this is important to curate as quickly as possible, because when you summon in the all-hero recruitment, either with invite letters or diamonds, you will, when you get a hit, that means that you will have a chance to summon one of these 16 heroes. And notice how there's like gold background and purple background, because in this game there's 2 different rarities, there's 6 different factions, there's S rank heroes, which are the higher rarity, and there's A rank heroes, which are the lower rarity, and then there's 6 factions: Lightbearer, Mauler, Wilder, Graveborn, Celestial, and Hypogean. So as you can see here, I have my own wish list for starting players from the if you want to curate your wish list, you're going to click on the hero. It'll propagate the heroes you can swap into this. Just kind of going section by section here. If you are starting the game, I would recommend that the 2 heroes that you start off with in your wish list, Siren and Sonya. The reason for this is because Sonya is, if you want to be relevant in PvP, which we will talk about in the next video, you want Siren because he is an incredibly powerful damage dealer who can silence the enemy's artifact spell and also wipe out entire teams on his own. And then you have Sonya, who is an excellent PvP hero who is also important in one of the most important game modes in this game, Dream Realm, which we will also talk about in the next video. And then once you have a sufficient amount of copies of those heroes, because the way you strengthen your heroes is by summoning multiple copies of them, multiple duplicates. Once you have summoned enough duplicates, you can swap that hero out for one of these other Lightbearer S rank heroes that are available in this game. And by the way, as of this recording, at the end of season 3, we have a total of 78 heroes. About a quarter of them are very important to build on your account, and then up to half of the heroes available in this game are viable. If you're curious about which heroes are viable in this game, check out my last 2 videos, my Standard Arena and Supreme Arena guides. Those videos offer a deep dive into the most important heroes, like their kit and why they're important. Okay, so once you have developed these 2 heroes, I would say the next important hero to build is Rowan, because Rowan, he is a healer who is also an energy battery to allow your heroes to cast their ultimate abilities faster. Now moving on to the A rank heroes, the Lightbearers faction, the top 2 heroes to build at the beginning are both Hugin as well as Sinbad. And the reason for this is because Hugin is a very reliable shielding healer. He can apply chunky shields to your party. Sinbad is very important because he basically improves the damage output of your team. Let's just put it that way. And then once you finish building these 2, then the next hero you could probably build is maybe a tank such as Luca or Lucius. You really only need one of these, and maybe Faye, because she's not a great healer, but later on, like in another video, I will talk about different game modes, and there are game modes, particularly certain events that will limit you to a certain faction, such as the Lightbearer faction. And so it's good to have another reliable Lightbearer healer. Now moving on to the Mauler faction, the top 2 Maulers to work on first, S ranks, would be Smokey and Mirky and Mikola. The reason I don't have them in my wish list currently is because I have already max ascended them. As you can see, I have a bright blue max, meaning I cannot ascend them any further. And there's no reason to leave a hero in the wish list once you have max ascended them. It's kind of a waste of resources. So after you finish building these 2, and by the way, these 2 heroes happen to be some of the best healers in the game. Smokey is a damage dealing healer, and Mikola is a buffing healer. She applies offensive and defensive buffs to your party. After you finish building these two, you should probably build Shakir next, because Shakir, he is a sub DPS that can provide damage, that can buff the damage output of heroes nearby with his lupine aura. So yeah, Shakir would be the next one to build. Now for A ranks, the two heroes you want to work on first for the Mauler faction would be Odie as well as Coco. Coco is important, especially in the beginning parts of the game, because she is a very free-to-play friendly healer who shields your heroes. And this is very important because certain game modes like Dream Realm, the way they work is that the more damage you do to them, the more damage they do back to you. And there are certain moments where the enemy can one-shot your party, and this is where Coco comes in. She can allow you to apply shields over your HP bar so that you can tank those deadly hits. And then Odie is very important because Odie does very high single target damage, and there are certain bosses such as the Snow Stomper that you'll face at during the beginning of the game, where the boss will silence your party, making it impossible for you to cast your ultimates. And there's certain heroes like Odie who can deal high amounts of damage even if he can't cast his ultimate. Now once you have max ascended these two heroes, then you can work on perhaps getting a couple copies of Kruger, who is a very free-to-play friendly hero, in the sense that you don't need many Ascensions in order to get a lot of value from him. Kruger, he is a debuffer who can make the enemy take increased amounts of physical damage. And that's a thing here. Heroes come in two different attack styles. One is physical and one is magic. So like Satrana, for instance, is a magic. Yeah, there's two different attack types. All right, so and then honorable mentions, I would say Satrana is quite good because she is one of the few heroes who can decrease the opponent's healing effectiveness, and this has certain implications in PvP and AFK stage clearing. Now, the Wilder faction happens to have some of the most important heroes in this game, and for this reason, wishlist priority is a bit controversial for this, just because there's so many good heroes. As you can see, I have max ascended these three heroes who I would argue are the most important heroes to start building. One is Lily May, another is Tassie, another is Aaron. Now, the top two to prioritize would probably be Aaron as well as Lily May. The reason is because Lily May, she is a damage dealer, a DPS, that has the ability to bypass enemy defenses. She also has a unique ability that no other hero in this game possesses, which is to cancel the first ultimate cast by the opponent, and this is a passive ability. And this is important because there are certain heroes such as Aaron who can cast their ultimate at the start of battle, and Aaron in his case, he is a hero who can, with his ultimate, group enemies together as well as decrease their magic defense. And so remember what I mentioned earlier, there's physical defense, there is magic defense, and we mentioned earlier that Kruger can shred physical defense, Aaron can shred magical defense. And so Aaron is very important for both PvP as well as AFK stage pushing. Tassie is very good because she is one of the most powerful win conditions in the game, particularly in PvP, but she's also one of the important heroes to build for AFK stage pushing. What she does is she is a high damage dealing mage who can revive multiple times, as well as put enemies to sleep for 4 seconds, and this is what allows you to take over games. Alright, and then there's other important wilder heroes such as Haywin and Lorson, who are healers in this game that are important to build. And there's also niche heroes such as Brian, who does a high amount of damage and who can bait, quote unquote, certain heroes such as Lily May into expending their valuable passives such as ult cancels, because Brian, he summons his eagle at the start of battle, and if they don't counter the eagle, then the eagle does a ton of damage. Alright, and then moving on to the A ranks, there's a lot of great A rank heroes in this game. I would say that the first two A rank heroes you should build are probably Olmus and Faramore. Faramore is one of the newest heroes in this game. Basically, Olmus, he is a tank who has a valuable passive in that every time you displace the enemy, like you change their location artificially with various heroes such as Aaron, he will also make the displaced enemies unable to act for 2 seconds, and we call that crowd control, basically impacting their ability to do anything, right? So almost very powerful. Faramore is also very powerful because he has two unique abilities. One is he can cast a ring, like a field, with his ultimate that makes it so the enemies within the field cannot heal. This is very useful in AFK stage pushing and to some extent PvP. And then he also makes himself as well as his allies do true damage. True damage is essentially damage that bypasses enemy defenses 100%. This is very important for dealing high amounts of damage across various game modes. So Faramore, very important. And then afterwards you'll want to build Damien, because Damien is one of the most powerful PvP healers in this game, because he can cheat death multiple times, and he can also stun enemies, do decent amounts of damage, and also apply valuable buffs such as haste and attack, and haste and attack to your allies. Okay, so moving on to the S-rank heroes. So the most important S-rank Graveborn heroes to build would hands down be Ludovic. Ludovic's the most important, that's non-negotiable. He's one of the most reliable healers in this game. And he also does a decent amount of HP scaling damage. And then probably Thorin would be the other important one, because he is a reliable tank who can do a good amount of damage as well, and he can cheat death twice. This is important against certain Dream Realm bosses such as King Croaker, who you will face in preseason. King Croaker automatically KOs the frontmost ally of your party 3 times to my memory, and because Thorin can cheat death twice, so Thorin will eat those one-hit KOs. So very important hero. And then for the A rank heroes, Graveborn, I would say the most important one is Bonnie, because Bonnie is a high damage dealing DPS who can also debuff one of the most important stats in the game, which is haste, which is your ability to cast your skills. And Bonnie casts aging magic, which will target the rearmost enemy, decreasing their haste. And this aging magic can spread to other enemies over the course of the battle, and this is a great way to come out on top in a PvP situation. And then I would say probably Callan is another hero you should build. He's one of the newer heroes released this season. Callan is very important because he can blanket shield your heroes within his range, and it's a pretty large 2-tile range. So this is very important for protecting your glass cannons at the start of battle, so you can pick up hopefully some quick KOs if you're being hyper offensive. Callan's also very useful for AFK stage pushing. Oh, and speaking of AFK stage pushing, it is worthwhile to build Nara next. I would say she's probably the third best hero to build for S rank Graveborn, because she has a unique mechanic where she can reel in enemies close to her so that you can focus down that enemy in various ways. Very useful in AFK stage pushing. And then after you build these two, you could probably build... it's really hard to say. I think in terms of long-term value, Niru or Sylvina may be good to build, because Niru has the ability to apply revival blessings onto your allies, because normally once a hero dies, they're gone, but Niru has the ability to allow them to cheat death. And then Sylvina's very good at high ascension because she can jump onto... Usually what you'll do is you'll have Sylvina target an enemy who is a glass cannon, because you want to take them out quickly. That way they don't... You take out one of their win conditions. Yeah, so that's pretty much it for the wish list. Okay, so final thing I want to go over is quests. There's daily quests and there's weekly quests. So what you do is you click on the settings, I'll just call them settings, and you go to quests. And here I've already completed my daily. So as you can see, there's daily quests, there's weekly quests, and there's guild quests. So these are guild quests, so these are guild medals. And that's a thing too, that's why I say join a guild on day one, because every week you can get up to 7,000 guild medals, and you need 30,000 guild medals in order to purchase one copy of a Celestial Hypogean from the shop. Yeah, make sure to do your weeklies as well as your dailies. They're very easy to do. You can complete your dailies within the first 5 minutes. Well, maybe like first 10 minutes. So you do different things like Dream Realm, claiming your AFK awards, summoning, purchasing something from the store, friends, giving favor to your friends. Yeah. And then for guild quests, it'll be doing different game modes, assisting other players. Doesn't have to be your guild members, but assisting guild members, friends, and random people with their quests, completing battles, recruiting. Yeah, these are very important to do. And then this season they released something called Lucky Flip, which you will open at the end of each week. I'm 2 hours away from the weekly reset, which is why it says, yeah, let's open them in 2 hours. So basically, the way Lucky Flip works is that you have a chance at the end of each week to get a valuable hero, valuable resources, yeah, and diamonds. So these are example of rewards. So these rewards are very valuable because you get an S rank or A rank hero, a random one. You get letters that allow you to summon for various heroes, or you can get a temporal essence, which is a resource you use to level up a weapon of a hero. And then you can get these orbs, that soul stones they call it, where you can get a random hero of a particular faction. So very important for progression, because just kind of going over to the resonating hall, when you build your heroes, it's not enough just to summon one copy of a hero. As you can see on the bottom left, which hopefully you can see here, yeah. So on the bottom left, it says ascend, right? And how many copies you need to ascend. So here it says you need 8 copies to ascend Lucy from the legendary tier to the legendary plus tier. And then you need to probably collect an extra 12 Lucys to get her from legendary plus to mythic. And then you spend something called acorns to get them from mythic to mythic plus. And at mythic plus, you unlock their EX weapon, Yes, Ascend to Mythic Plus to unlock exclusive weapon, and the exclusive weapon is necessary in order to unlock additional abilities. And to unlock the EX weapon, you need these resources called Tidal Essences, Temporal Essences, and Twilight Essences. So here's Tidal Essence, Temporal Essence, Twilight Essences for the EX 1 to 5, EX 5 to 15, and EX 15 to 25 weapons respectively. And then there's these special Shadow Essences which you get from the season path, you can say, to unlock the hero focus of the heroes. And hero focus would be on the right here. Yeah, hero focus I think you unlock at Legendary Plus. Yeah, but anyways, you'll probably notice that there's various frames, and the frames denote the ascension of your hero. So how it goes is it starts off, I think, Elite, then Elite Plus, then Epic, Epic Plus, Legendary, Legendary Plus, Mythic, Mythic Plus, Supreme, Supreme Plus, and then afterwards is Paragon 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the final ascension would be Crown, and Crown is the highest ascension. If you are a free-to-play player, realistically you won't go above Paragon 1 at the end of the first year. Yeah, so you don't really need to worry about Paragons. Paragon is just mainly for PvP, player versus player, but you do want to get your hero to Supreme Plus. Supreme Plus, basically when you reach that, you'll have unlocked the EX weapon, the hero focus, and all the abilities here. So yeah, that pretty much wraps it up for this video. I hope you found this helpful. Stay tuned for part 2 of the beginner's guide, which will be released probably tomorrow. So thank you guys for watching, and I will catch you in the next one.